The metro train shrieked as it approached the station. In a brief disagreement, two male riders exchanged comments. Another man of foreign origin interjected and said, "Shut up. Go back to your own country," one of the debaters said. "You want me to make you shut up," said the scary 21-year-old foreign guest. The man, now outraged, said, "You go ahead, you're a chump." These were his final words as the visitor drew a revolver and fired 4 rounds into the victim, killing him instantly in front of scores of train travelers. "Now you'll shut up," the young man remarked as he was detained. This episode exemplifies one approach to dealing with rage. But what a horrible outcome for both men. Have you ever been subjected to scathing words? Or perhaps a verbal onslaught delivered in a fit of rage? How did you react? What is the best method to handle this situation? Fight fire with fire, is it? Some believe, as one editorial stated. Why it's good to get good and mad. An ancient monarch's true life account teaches us another approach to dealing with such eruptions. However, in this day and age of violence, one can question if it is a viable option. King David and his entourage were fleeing for their lives from his son, who had recently taken the kingdom. Shimei, a descendant of King Saul, suddenly faced them. Shimei yelled, get out, you blood-guilty and useless man. Jehovah God has returned all the blood guilt for the house of Saul, in whose stead you have ruled as king, and Jehovah has given the kingship to Absalom your son. And here you are in your misery because you are a bloodthirsty guy. What a venomous outburst, and in front of the king himself. So, how would David handle these combative words? Let me go over and cut off his head, his military leader begged. What would your response have been? Remember, the guy David was pushed to his breaking point here. The hearts of his countrymen had just been snatched from him. His son had become a traitor. His advisors had abandoned him. He'd lost his empire and was now being ridiculed and cursed. Being branded a good-for-nothing guy was the ultimate insult, since it denoted a person of the lowest caliber. David's reaction, on the other hand, was straightforward. Therefore, let him bring down evil, for Jehovah God has commanded to him. Call down evil upon David. So who should ask, why did you do that? Allow him to be alone. Perhaps Jehovah will see with his eye, and give to me goodwill instead of his malediction on this day. David did not answer with rage, but rather with a calm retort. What were the outcomes? First and foremost, no blood was shed. When David was re-established as king, who was the first to greet him, apologize, and seek forgiveness? That's correct, Shimei. Some would argue, but that was nearly 3,000 years ago. The times have changed. People will walk on you if you are not forceful. Answering calmly may seem great, but it will not assist you now. This, however, is not what knowledgeable people say. Take note of the following advice. If self-centered individuals try to take advantage of you, Scratch them off your list, but don't try to retaliate. When you try to get even, you end up hurting yourself more than the other person. A police station bulletin in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. According to psychiatrists, rage may well be cited as the cause of death in many cases, particularly among younger individuals. Family medicine. For years, cardiologists have known that rage is one of the most dangerous of all emotions. Heart attacks and strokes are frequently preceded by a period of extreme emotional stress. As a result, David's path is acknowledged as realistic. But how do you do it? It's easy to talk about a moderate response when nothing bothers you and everything is quiet. What can be done in the event of a conflict? Jehovah himself has spoken to him. Call down evil. He says, David admitted that he had sinned and was deserving of such chastisement. He was not, however, guilty of Shimei's false claim. Because David had gone to great lengths to avoid murdering Saul. Nonetheless, David had sinned with such repercussions and was aware of his transgression before God. According to one Bible scholar, a modest, gentle spirit will transform reproaches into reproofs, and so obtain good by them, rather than being irritated by them. Humility and the awareness that there may be a grain of truth in what our opponent is saying, along with true awareness of our adequacies, help keep us calm. If the allegation is completely unfounded, like Shimei's was, remember that God's vision of us is far superior to the restricted judgments of others. Because of our flaws, we may feel enraged by another person's statements at times. But don't give up. Even Christian overlords in the 1st century exchanged a quick surge of rage. Nonetheless, rather than harboring animosity, they addressed the issue by proper action. You can, too. Physical activity can sometimes provide instant relief. No, don't do what one writer suggested. Break pencils, walk into the room, and kick all the doors. Rather, go for a stroll, play with a ball, or labor in the garden. The great king, David advises, leave fury alone and rage. Do not show yourself fired up merely to commit evil. Is there anyone nowadays who tries to follow such wise advice?